Hey everybody, it's Scotty, the Chunky Spaniard. First off, I want to say thank you to everyone that has subscribed in the past couple weeks. That's more than I could have ever imagined. It's not like an astronomical amount of people, but it's more than I've had in, I think, obviously ever. But thank you for those of you that have subscribed, however you have found me, and I appreciate it. I apologize for not posting weekly like I said I was going to. I have this thing called a job, and we had just had finished finals. So we are in our second semester. Things are rolling, and I'm hoping to get more videos up at a more frequent pace. I'm not going to promise a certain timeline on that. I have a bunch of them, banked. It's just the editing that comes into play. And since I coach and teach and, do all that good stuff, takes a little bit of time. But I've been trying to think of a name for people that follow the channel. I call this Round Like Me, and I call myself the Chunky Spaniard, and I think it would be not the nicest thing to incorporate, like rounders or chunkers or something like that. So because I am part Spanish, I was thinking we could call ourselves the Conquistadors. There's like the Beliebers and like Chris D'Elia, who's an amazing comic. And if you haven't watched Undateable, check it out. It's awesome. Live on Friday nights on NBC. And not sponsoring this, no. But he has the Delivers, which is pretty funny. But I don't know. Conquistadors is kind of cool. Sounds like a college mascot. So today, this episode, I'm kind of refilming something I filmed this summer. It was before I knew kind of what I was doing. I filmed it on my iPhone. Did not turn out well. I went to edit, and there was all this like white mist going through the video. Super weird. So I went to some friends of mine that know a lot about videos, and I was like, hey guys, I was editing, and I went and bought this really nice program, was doing all this good stuff. And I was like, but this white mist, could that have been like the air conditioning? And they're like, no, air conditioning doesn't do that. It's kind of weird. And then I felt like I was on an episode of Ghost Adventures. My name is Zach Baggins. I never believed in ghosts until I saw one in my video. So anyway, I've got this nice newer setup, really nice for me anyway, and gonna refilm. This is the remixed version of the first video that I was going to put up. At the time, I was transitioning over from AB teacher, which at our school is language arts and history, to math teacher this year, which is an adventure in and of itself. And now this is my fourth year teaching junior high, and I was like, you know what? I need to give some tips on becoming a junior higher, because it's a big transition. It's really tough. And so this video is about what you need to know, or what I've experienced, and what I think you need to know if you're entering junior high or any upper level in education. So rule number one, okay? Number one. Wear deodorant. Sounds simple, right? Sounds very like, hey, that makes sense. You should bathe regularly and wear deodorant. But please, be courteous of those around you and of your family members and anyone else that has to interact with you, and wear deodorant. You'd be shocked, and I am every single day. That's why I have cans of, delicious smelling stuff. I'll say it. Febreze. I use Febreze, okay? And I crop dust that all around my classroom, because you stink, okay? You stink. So please wear deodorant. I forgot. We all forget every once in a while. I remember freshman year in college, I was in a rush to get out the door, and it was Southern California, so it was nice, brisk morning, had my sweatshirt on, I'm in the middle of class, I'm about to take my sweatshirt off. So I did the self-check. You go in, kind of sniff as you're going, kind of inconspicuous. Oh, just stretching. And it was gross. I was like, oh no, that's what I forgot. And so I put the sweatshirt back on and sat through class. and realized that I needed to wear the sweatshirt the rest of the day. And as it does in Southern California, it started to warm up. And so, as the day went on, I got a little more and more ripe and more self-conscious, and it was probably one of the worst days of college ever. And so, please, please, please wear deodorant, okay? Point number 2, okay, 2. Numero dos. Get your schedule ahead of time. It's that easy. Get your schedule ahead of time. Scope out where you're going around the classroom, or not the classroom. Scope out where you're going around campus beforehand, if you can get your schedule ahead of time. That way, you're not that kid with their head in their notes the whole day, walking around trying to figure out where they're going, okay? Easy target right there, yeah? You know what I mean? Plus, if you're the guy that knows where you're going, you know that little honey from that other school that transferred over here, and you're like, what? And she looks a little lost, and you're just like, you know what? Hey, I know exactly where that is. Why don't you follow me? Boom, you're in, okay? Already started a conversation, didn't even have to come up with something clever, and you're the guy that knows what's going on. So, go for it. Get your schedule ahead of time. Scope out your classes. The third thing, at the district I teach in, there's someone walking by right now, and I'm distracted. Okay, so at the district I teach in, we have 7 different elementary schools feeding into our junior high. That's a lot. That's a lot of people. And on the first day, you're going to see that, you kind of hang with your crew or the people that you remember from 6th grade. It depends on where you lived. In Southern California, where I went to school, it was middle school, so 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. But you're going to kind of group together with those friends, and as the year goes on, you may realize that you don't have as many things in common with them as you once thought. You may get involved in sports, music, anything in the visual performing arts, anything else on campus, and you're going to start gravitating towards other people. That's okay, and that's part of life, and you're going to learn that. And so, it'd be cool for you to just take a snapshot or a mental snapshot of who you were hanging out with at the beginning of the year, who you're hanging out with at the end of the year. Has that changed? Have you changed? Are you making the right choices as well? Because you could make the wrong choices who you're hanging out with. So always reflect, self-evaluate, see how things are going, and don't be bummed or totally down about not having the same friends that you had before. Okay. The fourth thing, and this is this is something that is kind of weighing heavy on me right now, just as a teacher, is don't procrastinate. Okay? Junior hires, you've now had the first semester under your belt. You now know what it's all about. Okay? You're juggling the classes. You know how your teachers function. You know which teacher expects it now, expects it later. You really need a giant whiteboard plotting everything on the wall. This is due on Tuesday. This is due over here. This is due over here. We got to dance here. And, to stay organized. It's a lot. But now you've got it kind of squared away. You know what you're doing. You're in your groove. So, do not procrastinate. Do not wait. And if you can learn that skill early on, it'll serve you better on later in life. I think that sounds about right. And the last thing, the fifth thing, I couldn't do that if I taught wood shop and had a freak accident. That'd be pretty bad, right? Or my grandpa, he had little nubbins because he was a carpenter and sawed off fingers and stuff. Okay, but the last thing and that I would say is get involved. It's the one thing that every student can agree on at the end of the year, because I always survey my students at the end of the year and say, hey guys, if you could go back and do it all over again, what would it be? And every single year, this is my 4th year teaching it, and for 3 straight years already, every kid says they wish they would have gotten more involved. That could be going out for the drama production, going to a school dance, going to a basketball game, putting yourself out there to meet a new group of friends. It could be anything that you were into, but don't be afraid to get involved, because you only have this short window of opportunity, and you may realize you're good at something that you never thought you would be good at. Or this is the start of something, and you get better and better and better and better. by the time you get to into high school or college or beyond, and it takes you in a totally different path than you thought you were going down. So please get involved. It's great. You meet new friends. There's that whole group of friends thing changing again, and keeps you out of trouble. Unless you're getting involved with a group of people that are involved in stuff that are getting in trouble, I guess. But get involved somewhere on campus, okay? Don't get involved like over at Taco Bell where our kids get involved or get kicked out of McDonald's and stuff like that after school. But those are my 5 quick tips about like entering junior high. I'm sure there's a lot more. If there's other stuff that you can think of, like comment on it. I'm always looking for stuff to talk to my classes about. So the more comments you leave, the more suggestions, questions even. I will respond to questions. Okay, it may not be in the most timely fashion, like these video uploads, but I will do my best to get back to you and answer your question if I can. So once again, thank you for subscribing. Please like the video, share the video, let them know, hey, there's that hairy guy that kind of looks like the last video someone commented and said it looked like Ty from Dude Perfect. I wish I was as awesome as Ty from Dude Perfect, and I got to hang out with those guys all the time. They have one of the best jobs ever, okay? Comment, like, share, all that good stuff. Be good to your teachers, please. They really do have the best of intentions, most of them. Until next time, thank you for watching Round Like Me with Scotty, the Chunky Spaniard, and we will see you all later. I was going to say like next period, but that's stupid. It's teacher lingo. See you next time. All right, no, I will see you next time, or you will see me next time, and hopefully we'll get to chat online. All right, bye.